Elio guys, and welcome back. In today's video, I'll be doing my best to provide you with a beginner's guide to Infinite Magicraid. While I will focus on the main points here, check the link in the description for a more detailed version. When starting gacha games, the first question any player will ask is, who should I reroll for? From my experience thus far in soft launch, I don't really see a way to reroll in this game without creating multiple accounts, so I personally do not suggest it. But moving forward, Infinite's element system isn't your traditional one. In this game, for whatever reason, the elemental weakness and strengths are swapped, meaning fire is strong against water and water is strong against wood. There are also no dark types in this game, but there is light. So at first it's a bit counterintuitive, but pay attention in battle, as when you hit an enemy when the word counter pops up in the yellow, that means you hit them for their weakness. So just progress through the story as the game teaches you the basics until you can finally hit all the buttons on the home menu. The wish tab is where we can pull for more units with their own separate tiers. The refined wishes are normally 1 to 2 star units, and sometimes you can get a 3-star unit. Excellent wishes provides you with 2 to 4 star units, and if you're lucky you can even pull a 5-star legendary unit. That leaves the supreme wish, which is the hardest to obtain, but those pulls usually range from 3 to 4 star units with a higher chance of 5-star units. This is speculation, of course. So now that you have your units, you can slide over here to the craft tab, which is how we will power up said units. So Infinite deals with units in a different way than other gachas. You do not need dupes to raise a unit's level, you simply need units of equivalent stars to raise to another star. Instead, you do need dupes of a character to unlock their exclusive weapon, which of course boosts their damage and can provide interesting buffs. So for worthwhile progression in this game, I recommend you stick to 4-star units and higher in terms of long-term investments. Now the game also features different sets of equipment that can boost your unit's damage and survivability. These are important as equipment also carries substats, so at a higher level, good subs mean a lot. The gear itself also has different forms of rarity. The market also is a very important place for early progression, as here you can buy units with excess gold and also pick up some decent equipment for now. I highly recommend picking up any 1 to 2 star units that you come across, as those can be crafted later to higher star units to help boost the level of your team. Also, do not forget the dispatch tab either. This sends your character on a journey to retrieve gold, wishes, and gems. Speaking of gems right now, I do not recommend spending them on anything besides the advanced skill scrolls. I find the cost for stamina on these guys too high, and experience is obtainable with stamina, so it's safe just to hoard them for now. But those are essentially the basics here, so let's move on to some team making. Now be warned, we all have different units, so this may not exactly work for you, but the game does give us a few guaranteed units. Once you obtain Eden, for example, just keep her in your party. She is mainly utility with not so good healing, but with her being a light type, she can survive pretty easily with a decent team. So her job is to lower the enemy's attack, raise your attack, and provide a little bit of healing. The other 3-star units they throw out, I personally end up sacrificing, as with a little luck in pulling 4-star units, they absolutely wreck the 3-star ones. I did find Christian cool at the beginning, but as time went on, he just hit different for me, so build him up at your own discretion. I do recommend you start diversifying your team in terms of elements as soon as possible to help with future stages, as one thing I do enjoy about this game is the fact that you have to use different elements. Melassa, for example, is a great damage dealer, and she can also apply dot or damage over time. So as a wood element, she can help you nuke the fire ones, and I've kept her as part of my team ever since I got her. The game also gives you Orbero, so feel free to build him up as well, and he can be used as your wood nuker. For water elements, I already mentioned Christian, but the other ones I ended up using the most was Teeman, who kind of sucks to me. I only use her for another source of attack down and defense down. I also use Stan, who does poison just like Melassa, but definitely nowhere near her damage. He is a defense aggressor, I believe, meaning his damage scales off of his defense and not his attack. I did get lucky and pulled Yoko though, so she has been my water nuker due to her stats as a legendary. At the time of this guide though, I have not had much luck with pulling water units. For fire elements, I've been using Moo, which is essentially a fire version of Stan, as well as Justy here and there, who when buffed up does some okay damage. Magus is also another unit worth mentioning due to his healing abilities, so I highly recommend building him as a more dedicated healer than just Eden. I did not try Blackstone for very long, so he could definitely replace Justy for now, so you can have a dot team for fire. Other than that, getting through the story comes down to having a decent team. Don't forget to equip them with sets, and most importantly, do not be afraid to ascend them, as I found levels in this game make a big difference. Honestly, most of the problems for me getting through the harder levels like Chaos Town, Stage 1010, just came down to bad RNG. It wasn't that my team composition was terrible, it was just the boss critting on my nuker or a skill being a turn too late. So once again, make sure you beef up your characters. But that's all I have to offer to you for now, as I'm currently about halfway through the hard mode. If you would like to see more videos though, please leave a comment below, and that's pretty much it. Subscribe if you want to, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.